What up, Peoria, man? How y'all feeling? Let me get my light together. Peoria, what's good, man? Hey, RapPolitics, you tune in, man. Strictly Hip Hop 90.7 FM and Peoria Journal Star. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Look, we got a good lineup for y'all tonight. We got, first of all, D-Mill, who's throwing a crazy festival this coming weekend. We got all the details, so stay tuned for that. We also got 4th District Councilman Andre Allen, who's jumping on the RapPolitics for the first time since he's been elected several months ago. So y'all don't want to miss none of that. And of course, you know, we're brought to you by Sherman's, where they carry the best in furniture, mattresses, and appliances. And if you're looking for a job, they got you. They promote people that work hard, have a good attitude. You don't even need a degree. They don't even care about your education. You can log on to shermanscareers.com to check out the openings and apply online. And we're also brought to you by Terry Shepard, who's a real estate consultant whose values are rooted in customer care and service. She can help you negotiate your next deal and get you into a home that fits. She's with Remax Traders Unlimited, and she can be reached at 309-361-4592. What's today? Today, Thursday, man. We almost to the weekend. Like I said, it's a crazy event coming up this week at the Delta 8 Festival. But first, this is what I got to talk about. Y'all see this? Do y'all see this? Well, hold on. Let me make it bigger. Do y'all see that? I'm going to tell y'all why this is important. So about a year and a half ago, maybe even 2 years ago, Jay-Z jumped on with the NFL, teamed up with the NFL, and created a collaboration, a partnership, whatever it is you want to call it, that is going to allow him to help facilitate some stuff in the NFL. Y'all was mad. Y'all said, oh, Jay a sellout, Jay bogus. How is Jay going to diss the NFL and then try to come back and work with the NFL? He done sold out the black folks. He don't even care. He be capping the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. I ain't like it. And then I came on and I said, I was like, look, let's give him some time. We didn't know what all was going on. We wasn't in that room. You know what I mean? I was like, look, I think Jay is smarter than jumping on teams with the NFL and then just straight out, you know, just complete negligence of the hip hop and black community as a whole, and to just like ingratiate himself with the NFL, especially in these type of times. I was like, let's hold on, let's see. And before you know it, something happened like a year ago. I was talking off air about it. I can't remember what he did, but it was like a small, I knew I wasn't tripping. But now you got a halftime show that is unlike the likes of any halftime show I've ever seen or heard of, especially dealing with the NFL. When you got Dr. Dre, Mary J, you got Eminem, you got Kendrick Lamar. I mean, look, it's up. Like, it's really up. Now, I ain't saying this is the end all be all. I ain't saying like we're finally here. This is the promised land. All I'm saying is that I knew Jay-Z was up to more than just getting to the money with the NFL and complete selling out everything that he ever spoke about on any record. I just wanted to highlight that, man. I think it's important. I'm looking forward to it. The Super Bowl is going to be in LA this year. Well, next year, depending on how you look at it. It's going to be in LA. The halftime show going to be lit. The halftime show going to be black. The halftime show going to be hip hop. Look, man. I look, Jay said he don't lose. I believed him. GOAT came through. That's all I'm gonna say. GOAT came through. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I said before, man, we got Hove is the truth. Hey, Karen, no. What up, Karen? Karen, no. That's why I like Karen, man. She know. She definitely know. But like I said, man, we got a big festival coming up this weekend, and I got the organizer, the put together, the producer, the videographer, the picture taker, he do a whole bunch of stuff, man. We got him on RapPolitics right now. First time being on RapPolitics. D-Mill, man, what's good?
What's good? How y'all feeling out there?
Man, your background lit. What you got going on, man? You recording? What you got going on?
No, I'm at the studio. I came here. I got rehearsal with the band because we headlining out here too. So Arteville Fusion's my band that I toured with for the last 18, 19 years. So I got to get it together with the boys, so they coming through in a little while. Yep.
All right, bring the camera up a little bit of setback, man. All we seeing is like nose on down. No, there we go. All right. Well, I know you in your zone. You know what I'm saying? You look like you finna drop a platinum album with Prince. You know what I'm saying? You're doing your thing.
Yeah,
So Delta 8 Harvest Fest, man. What is it? We see the flyers all green, but what is it?
Delta 8 Harvest Festival, first and foremost, is a music festival, but with the brands that we're affiliated with and some of the brands that we're partnered with, we have a big reach and a big network in the cannabis community, which we developed through COVID, basically through doing live streams, and we built that network. And I started to think about this about like last March. I was like, man, if we keep doing this when stuff opens back up and we keep building this network, and if I could get everybody wherever they from to bring their followings to one thing, it's going to be massive. And that's where we at right now. And looks like we're going to get it in just in time, stuff getting a little crazy. But I thought about that too back in March and April when I booked this. I didn't want to have to cancel something, so I kept it small. And we kind of sandbagged the event and kind of slow leaked the info. But now it's out. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, I just looked at the ticket sales for today on the website. It's crazy. Like this at the door, this all the tickets that's left. So, that's it. That's about a stack of, I don't even know. That's like, but that would be like, what I would consider a sellout. So we're well on our way. Because VIP sold out, and sponsors and vendors been sold out. But I did just go by one of our vendors or one of our sponsors, and he had 10 VIP passes left. So I have 10 VIP passes left. If you get a hold of me, I will give them to you. These are the only 10 that are left right here. That's it. I have them. Hit me up. You want them? I know they just put another one of the tickets that y'all been hiding. There's another one, I'll tell you. It's down at the Richard Pryor statue, y'all.
I was gonna say, are you still doing? Is it still a Easter egg hunt for the tickets around the city?
Yeah, your girl Tammy been hooking it up down there, man. She been out and about all over the city. So what we're doing is tomorrow night we're drawing out of the 5 winners. We're drawing one of those winners to get upgraded to an all access VIP pass. So we're gonna put all the 5 winners. But here's the thing: 2 people got the tickets and they didn't tag us or tell us who they are. So really, there's only 2 people in the drawing right now for the upgrade. So whoever gets that ticket tomorrow that gets put out, that'll be 3 people that we know have tickets. But so somebody got the one that was down at the car down on the corner of the CT Gabbert paint building. Somebody got that ticket and they didn't tag us, so we don't know who that is. But you can be entered to win that VIP tomorrow if you just tag 90.7 and tag Delta 8. That's all you gotta do. So yeah, somebody getting an upgrade, they could get rid of their ticket, whatever. But other than that, there's 10 other VIPs. So it's up.
You got a lot of artists lined up for this. And so for the people that are like trying to figure out what it is, you kind of alluded to it earlier. Is this a cannabis event or a music event, or is it both?
It's both. It's a hybrid. So, like I said, the vendors we got coming out are from the cannabis community primarily. So they're like genetics companies, they're cannabis branding companies, they're grow shops, they're people that that make distillate or isolates, or people that make wax, and like we have all kinds of different cannabis vendors. But the artists we got, like my band, Artiville Fusion has been in the cannabis, like we've been promoting that for like our whole career. So we were part of legalization and pushing legalization all the way. So we're known for being a band that's been in the cannabis long before it was legal. So I'm out here like, back in the day, I was not like wanting my kids, my baby mama to even see me smoking weed, because you're going through whatever. But now it's out there. You know what I'm saying? So we're using bands that are synonymous in the cannabis industry. Odd Squad Family is in Arizona, but they're considered the kings of hip hop and cannabis in Arizona. They're my homies. So they're flying in. Natty Nation, another band from Madison that's like a roots rock reggae band. They're very, very pro cannabis as well. And I actually toured with those guys. So these are like my homies. Like, I got a lot of my homies coming to this. Like all my family will be here. My sisters, my brothers, and my parents, my nephews, nieces. We got laser tag and mobile gaming trailer for the kids. It's all
This is
ages.
a kid-friendly event. All ages, kid-friendly event.
It is all ages. We have the VIP booth. We have backstage, so you got to be 21 to go back there, and that's where we'll be turning up. And we got in the VIP, we got free food, free booze, and free samples of whatever else we lay out back there. So you will not get any experience like this. So there's 10 of those left. We've already sold. We had sold what was considered 200, so we've probably been through like 200, and then we got 10 left. So,
and real quick, where is this at again?
It's at Simple Living Farms, which is a legal CBD hemp farm on Broadway Road, right outside of Morton and Groveland. So it's 5631 Broadway Road. And then the closest cross street to that would be, if you go past the farm coming from 55, is Springfield Road is right there, just a little bit past the farm. So right there. It's about 2.2 miles from Interstate 155 if you come from Peoria. Get off right there at the Broadway exit.
And for the people that may not win this Easter egg goose hunt for the tickets, where do people get tickets at? Where can people buy their tickets?
Okay, so you can go to D8 Harvest Festival on Facebook, and there's an event, or you can go to musicmadefresh.net, and there's a link right when you click on the page that says Harvest Festival tickets here. Click that. There's no VIP on there. They sold out online, so those ones are sold out. I'm telling you, this event is up. Because I've been throwing shows for 20 years, so I can judge by the ticket sales. As in my career, this is the most pre-sale action with vendors and all that I've ever had at a show. I mean, I've thrown a festival for, I threw one for 8 years that used to draw 1,000 people out, an hour away from Peoria. So, I'm feeling real good about it, and it's going to be a good time. And it's just a one-day thing, you know what I'm saying? Because people got lives to get back to. We can't ask them to come camp out for 4 days, you know what I'm saying? So it's like in and out, and that's it.
Most def. Okay, 5631 Broadway, you said.
5631 Broadway Road.
Broadway Road, south of over Morton-ish by Peoria.
Yeah, it's like right between Morton, Pekin, and Groveland.
It's get that D-mail, man. Tickets are still available for the Delta 8 Harvest Festival. It's definitely going down with free food is going down anywhere. Free food. It's going down anywhere with free food.
Yeah. We got food vendors. We got Grill 'em All out there. We got Turk Street Eats. We've got Dos Vatos Tacos coming down from LaSalle. We've got my homie that makes edible ice cream. He won the Caniculture Cup edibles division we had last Halloween here in Peoria. He's from Chicago. It's called Jay and Mary's ice cream. It's like a play on Ben and Jerry's, but it's and this brother he's a black dude that owns the company, and he made gourmet ice cream for like 20 years. That was like his hustle. So this dude was making like different blends of ice cream and was killing it. And then once herb became legal, he was like, well, let me just make this little crossover. So he was already killing ice cream before that. And now he's got like the edible versions of his flavors. And, I have a homie that's working with him, and he's about to make this a national brand. So we got some really dope people coming down, like literally and figuratively, you know what I'm saying?
Most def. Hey, look, D-Mill this Saturday, Delta 8 Harvest Festival is going down. Get at them for tickets, but it looks like they might be almost gone, man. D-Mill, appreciate you coming on to Rap Politics today, bro. I'm
gonna get out.
That was D-Mill. Delta 8. He been promoting this thing for like 3-4 months. I think it should be dope. It's gonna be an outdoor event this Saturday. Again, a lot of tickets are already gone, but if you want to go, make sure you get at D-Mill on Facebook, and he'll get you right. And up next, we have 4th District Councilman, first time on Rap Politics, first time election winner this past March, April, man. Everything's getting confused, man. It's COVID, whatever. But we got Andre Allen in the building on today, virtually. Rap Politics, man. What's good?
What up? What's going on, man? Pleasure to be with you, man. You're the voice of the 309, bro. I said it once and I say it again.
Man, look, we just trying to get the information out there, man. That's all we trying to do is get the information out there. But you still you still kind of new on the horseshoe. You know what I mean? Brand newbie, youngest person on council, man. How's it feel? What's it like?
Yeah, I'm definitely still wet beyond the ears, if you know what I mean. I just wrapped up my 100 days last month, but it's going well. As cliche as it sounds, I feel like I'm really in my purpose. I really enjoy what I do. I really enjoy having my constituents reach out to me and try to solve their problems. And if I'm not able to solve their problems, at least explain the process. And a lot of them are just so receptive to someone just, answering a call, responding to an email in a timely manner, things that I've learned in my career in higher education. And so I'm blessed to be here to represent the 4th District in the city of Peoria.
Most def. Okay, so let's get into it. So federal government released COVID dollars. The city of Peoria got around $46 million. We used $10 million to put towards other things that we're going to get some loan for. We're going to borrow some money, but patch that up. Around $36 million left. What is the conversation right now? What should citizens of Peoria know regarding the council's decisions moving forward to do with this money?
Yeah. So because of the pandemic, local municipalities have received once in a lifetime lump sums of money. So Peoria did get 46 million total. As you mentioned, we allocated 10 million to negate some future borrowing. They were going to have to borrow $10 million to plug the hole caused by the pandemic in this year's budget. So we were able to negate that borrowing, which is good. It's always important anytime you get a lump sum of money. Don't go out and buy a TV, pay off your credit card bill. You know what I mean? So that was good as a council. I was excited about, that was unanimously supported around the horseshoe. And then we also allocated an additional $300,000 to end furloughs that our non-union employees were taken due to COVID-19 to save some funding. So we ended the furloughs. And so now we got about $36 million right now. A couple of weeks ago, we had a policy session that was led by our city manager. He came to us with a scenario and some suggestions. So there was some great positive dialogue around that. Dialogue included, essentially, we have until 2024 to spend this money. So how do we allocate this 36 million? Do we spend 9 million each year and spread it out over 4 years? Do we front load it and say, hey, there's some major things that we need to get done right now. Let's go ahead and drop this 20 million today and then allocate the rest of the 16 million and split it up, in 5.5 each year. So we just had some discussions around that of how we are going to spend the rest of this money. There was a survey that went out that citizens were able to take. We had about 900 responses, which is, it could be better, but it could be worse. And citizens really ranked how they wanted the money spent. So we're going to really take some of that feedback and then also the recommendations that we have for the manager. We did suggest in that policy session, though, that before we decide on how we want to spend that money, we need to see the totality of our biannual budget. So October 12th, we will begin the first discussion regarding the biannual budget for the next 2 years. So I'm excited, being a rookie to the council, to be part of that budget process. And so we'll be able to see what our revenues and our projections look like from the biannual budget. And then that'll really help us decide where we want to spend the surplus money. And as a council, we've got to be strategic because this is surplus money. And so we want to make sure that we're patching up things that were affected by COVID-19 and then not put ourselves on the hook for something. It's like buying a car when you get your income taxes and then when your taxes dry up, you can't pay the note. We don't want to be in that situation, and so the citizens of Peoria don't deserve that. So we want to make sure we are good financial stewards of this money.
Just out of curiosity, what has been the feedback from the city? Because as you mentioned, when you get a lump sum of money, the question is, do we knock everything out or do we space it out? Because the city's been known for getting in financial situations where you got to call on the citizens to help patch that hole up through taxes of various forms. What has the city said they want?
As far as the city, do you mean like the citizens or the city of Peoria?
As far as citizens, yeah.
As far as the citizens. So the citizens and the constituents I talked to, they are excited about infrastructure projects that have been delayed because of COVID-19. I think we all can address that potholes are not our friend in Peoria. And so we definitely need to be trying to address projects that were neglected because of COVID-19. Other constituents that I talked to, they want us to look at our staffing levels. There were staffing cuts that happened because of the COVID-19 pandemic. We shut down a fire station. We didn't fill certain positions within City Hall. You know, it might be a reason why you call code enforcement on your neighbor because they got a abandoned car in their front lawn, but no one's came out there because that staff is so limited. And so, you know, there's been some conversations around that as well too. So those are just some of the big things. People really want us to, some of the things that people don't realize. And so the way this money works is smooth is the U.S. Department the U.S. Treasury Department, excuse me, has outlined where this money can go. Okay, so it can go towards supporting public health response, replacing public sector revenue loss, water and sewer infrastructure, equity-focused services, addressing negative economic impacts, premium pay for essential workers, and then broadband infrastructure. So sometimes people, and I mean, you don't know what you don't know, but some people think this money's a blank check. You know, they'll come to me and say, "Hey, Andre, can we use this money to, you know," and this is just an example. Let's build a statue, or let's build a something for the kids. I mean, yeah, that would be great, but based off of the buckets that this money has to be earmarked to, we can't do that. And so there's some interpretation based off those 7 buckets that I just mentioned. And so our city staff is going to do a good job about providing recommendations to the council to ultimately vote on to earmark this money.
One more question before we get to another district real quick. But for the city council, there's been the conversation that you mentioned. Do we stretch it out or do we just spend a ton and knock everything out right now? Aside from the citizens, now the city, what side is the city leaning toward when it comes to how to spend the money?
You know, I think there's an appetite to do both. And I know that's not a clear, direct question. I mean, Mayor Ali asked the council, you know, and this was just informally, you know, it wasn't an official vote, but raise of hands, who wants to front load the money and who wants to spread it out. And I will say there was an appetite for the majority to front load the money. Now we will see if that changes because, as I mentioned during that policy session, before I can commit to where we allocate this money, I need to see the whole totality of our financial picture, you know, including the projections and revenues for the biannual budget. Because the thing about it is what we don't want to do is commit the money to, you know, commit the American Rescue Plan dollars over here. And then we see over here that we had a surplus funds and we could have reallocated that money. And so it was very important as a council, we had the entire picture. And so hopefully October 12th, the manager will come forth with some preliminary discussion around what our projections are looking like for the biannual budget. And then from there, we'll really be able to get in the meat and potatoes to determine how we want to allocate these American Rescue Plan funds.
Do you want to front load it or do you want to stretch it out?
I like to front load it. I think my constituents want to see some immediate wins, you know, and front loading doesn't mean spend 28 of the $36 million. Front loading could mean we spend 16. You know, I believe the projections and I have to double check this, but I believe we lost around $18 million, you know, due to COVID-19 based off a variety of services. So why not use 18 of that and replace the things that were affected by COVID-19? You know, so that's my kind of thought on it, because, again, I think that you all want to see some immediate wins. I think we definitely have to be good stewards of it. And that's why seeing that entire financial picture is going to be great.
So you're 4th district councilman, but the entire city in some way, shape or form is often concerned about District 1, right? And the issue from a lot of people's perspective is how do we get the other 4 districts to care about District 1 enough to buy in and say, okay, and concede in some capacities to where we can raise up District 1. From your perspective, is that something that could be in the near future? I mean, everybody wants money for their district, but how do people, or is there any sense of buy-in for, okay, you know what, let's see what's going on and see how we can come together to help this one district, even though we may be at large or even though this might not be our district?
Well, the good thing is the money from the rescue plan it has a equity focus. And so 75% of those fiscal recovery funds have to be allotted to what is called qualified census tract districts. So that's districts that have a census of people that have at least 50% of their households that make less than 60% of the median gross income in that city. And so those, unfortunately, are District 1, 2, and some parts of District 3. Not entirely of all of District 1, not entirely of all District 2, not entirely of all District 3, but for the most part, those are the 3 districts that qualify. And so they are going to be able to get firsthand of this American Rescue Plan dollars to those districts to address infrastructure, to address different equity focused solutions that can go towards them that the manager will outline, and then there'll be some good discussion. So I am very excited that there are going to be some resources coming to District 1, District 2, specifically from that act. Now, my constituents that live in District 4, I had to selfishly ask, what about us? But the good thing is we're going to be able to allocate these monies from the American Rescue Plan Act to the District 1, 2, and 3 that are in these qualified census tract districts. We'll be able to reallocate money in the biannual budget to address issues in District 4 and 5. So my constituents that's watching, don't worry, we're gonna get your potholes filled. We're gonna work on some sidewalks. We're gonna still do some things. Don't worry. But we do have to address the blight and the disinvestment that has occurred in District 1, 2, and 3. Because we all know that at the end of the day, although I am a district councilman, we are all interconnected. And so it's very important that we lift our District 1 up, we lift District 2 up, we lift parts of District 3 up as well too, in order for us to have the best Peoria we can have.
I just heard somebody wipe out on Reservoir, man. I know they mad over there. They wiping out on Reservoir.
Speeding is the number one concern that I've heard since I've been on the council.
No, the potholes. The Reservoir
potholes.
Look, people coming out on the other side of the city.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Reservoir needs to be completely resurfaced. It really does. My priority projects are Reservoir, Allen Road, some parts of Sterling, for sure, but like Reservoir and Allen Road are pretty bad. But then there's some residential streets that need it as well too. The area behind Benny's is called Golden Acres. It's out of sight, so it's out of mind. So luckily I did get 4 streets that are going to be approved through some pavement preservation projects. I was happy to announce that a couple of council meetings ago. So little by little, we're chipping away at it. But yeah, though, you shouldn't be hitting potholes and needing wheel alignments afterwards, man. So we got to do better than that.
Karen wants to know, is there any plans to revitalize Northwoods Mall?
As far as from the city, no. Now, I have a good communication with the general manager of Northwoods Mall, and they are actively working, to do things within themselves. So they have 3 new stores that have opened up, more of your small businesses that are in there. I look forward to visiting with them. They are working, trying to find a placement for Sears. They're trying to get Sears to play a little ball. Sears have closed all over the country, and they're leaving in thousands and thousands of square footage. And so how do we multi-purpose that? I went to a conference actually last week in Chicago for the Illinois Municipal League, and it talked about repurposing retail space. And so I connected with the general manager, and I'm like, man, we need to turn Sears into a sports complex with grass turf where indoor football can be played, batting cages, things of that nature. Like, we got to think outside the box because we have thousands and thousands of square feet. We've seen it to where malls, healthcare, entities are buying into malls because there's so much space, So there's a mall in Quincy that their local healthcare provider actually has set up shop inside of the mall, because it's some premium space. So to her question, there are some things happening. I'm excited. I met with Mr. Kitchens. He's expanding the smoking pit. And so that will be expanding into where GNC is. So they're going to be able to sit about 100 people in smoking pits. So Northwoods Mall is sustaining. It could be worse. I mean, definitely could be better, but definitely get out there, support the mall, shop local, and then that'll continue to keep us open for new opportunities. Because I know how it is. You want to go shopping, and you don't want to have to always get on the computer. I like to try things on.
Yeah. So not too long ago, early this week, last week, my days are getting mixed up, but there was a press conference held by the essentially the chief of police, the new chief of police. You were there, mayor was there. In the middle of violence, we're well over 20 homicides for the year. He was basically saying enough is enough. From a council standpoint and the city, from a council standpoint and the police department, what plans are actually in place to get in front of some of this?
Yes, violence is, we are, and we're at 24, 25, and that's just homicides. And it doesn't talk about the shootings. There was just a shooting last night. There was, a shooting a couple of days ago at the vigil for the young women who died in that car accident last year. And then, there was arrests made in those, but then when you look at the ages of those who are being arrested, it's younger and younger. So it's very unfortunate. Chief Echevarria, shout out to him. I will say he is beating the pavement. He is getting his steps in probably 30 to 40,000 steps a day. He is beating the pavement. He personally called that press conference. That wasn't a press conference called by the media or anything like that. He called it. He brought, stakeholders together to demonstrate a united front that enough is enough. As far as things that are being done, Peoria Police has a walking tour. It's published on their Facebook page where they will be walking into all different neighborhoods, and they're just trying to make relationships with people because they know they can't solve these issues on their own. But we do know there's a disconnect between the police and the community, and rightfully so in many cases. And so the police department is trying to do the best it can to, especially under new leadership, to re-energize those relationships so that way we can start solving crimes. We can be a little bit more proactive with our policing, which I think is very important as well too. So that's one initiative that's happening. Another one that's being championed by Mayor Ali is this initiative called SNET. So she brought together about 40 stakeholders that meet every other Friday or so, and really trying to streamline all the resources that we have here in Peoria. We've got a lot of great things, whether it's mentor programs, non-for-profits, all these great things that are occurring, but they're in silos, So how can we better streamline these? For instance, if I have a mentoring program, I should know that my mentee is also receiving maybe some other services over here at the Wraparound Center. And we should be talking and navigating and sharing that information. I should know that if my mentee isn't here, I should know who to call to make sure to check on him to find out where he or she is. And so the mayor has invited different people to bring proposals forward. One of the allocations within American Rescue Plan dollars is money has to go towards violence deterrence. And so right now it's $300,000 budgeted each year to go towards violence deterrence. And so the mayor is fielding proposals that will be approved to go specifically towards violence deterrence. One of the proposals that I was excited about was from a director of Peoria Public Schools safety officers, Chief Boone, brought together a great initiative that would expand the Peoria resource officer web, if you will, because right now what we're seeing is we can't arrest our way out this problem, but we definitely need more people we need more people on the front line, and the Peoria resource officers are a great initiative that we have here. And so we need to beef that up, be able to have more foot soldiers in the streets to interrupt these things. So those are a couple things going on right now. But we have to work on deterring the violence here in Peoria. It is getting out of control. And we gotta work on staying together and staying positive.
I read a book a while ago. It's called Freakonomics, and one of the things they discussed in that book was that the theory is it's been scientifically proven that more cops deter violence. So if you hire more police, then you'll squelch crime to a degree. And I know it's been argued on both sides. So I read that in a book, but I read in several articles that, while they may or may not be true, poverty is the root of most violence. So we need to attack poverty first. What side do you lean on? What say you?
I'm a combination of both. So I believe there has to be support with accountability. And so that support first is addressing poverty, the economic landscape of our city. When you look at the city of Peoria, pre-COVID, the unemployment rate for African Americans was around 18%, which was 3 times the national average, which the national average was 6% at the pre-COVID, which was a record low. So although nationally, African Americans' unemployment rate, we were doing great. Here in Peoria, which we make up almost 30% of the population, 18% of us are unemployed. Okay, when you look at those type of statistics, when you look at Peoria as well too, when it comes to those who have credentials. So we know in order for you to have a high quality of life, you need to have some type of credential, post-secondary credential. It doesn't necessarily mean a bachelor's degree, but a certificate, getting in the trades, figuring out, some type of post-secondary credential. 40% of our population has a post-secondary credential, 40%. So we're lacking in that. And so we've got to get more credentials to our people. Now, the good thing that we have in Peoria is we have bodies. Our census just wrapped up. It wasn't as bad as people thought it was. We've got about 113,000 people that live in the city. So we still have that human capital. So we've got to work on getting them the credentials they need, getting them into gainful employment. And then you will start seeing issues of violence and crime start being deterred. because, and maybe I'm optimistic. Some may call me gullible. Some may call me naive. But I think the average person doesn't wake up and say, hey, I need to do something bad today. But I think the average person wakes up and say, hey, I got to provide for my family today. And you and I, we're fortunate to where we can go to a job. For some people, they're not able to go to a job and they're going to still find a way for their family to eat. And so we've got to do the best thing we can to provide resources, lift the economic floor for our citizens here in the city. And then when it comes to that accountability piece, we do need to hold those accountable who are committing these crimes. I had a constituent call me yesterday alleging people were drag racing down Sterling, and then there was something that sounded like gunshots. We've got to deter that. We cannot have. I mean, there was just a terrible accident 2 weeks ago where someone who wasn't even in the race got hit, and that young lady actually passed away today. I was reading. That's unfortunate. And so we have to start holding people accountable for participating in crime. We have to.
Shifting gears a little bit, when it comes to investments and just being a hip, trendy city, Airbnbs is something that people have been talking about, people have been buying into. I know a couple people that got them, but it's on the table at the Horseshoe about what to do with it. Airbnbs, can we have them in the city or not? Are they legal or not? How can we? What's going on with that?
Well, you go to the website right now. It's about 140 Airbnbs in this metro area between Peoria, West Peoria, East Peoria. So they're here. The issue is right now we're reactionary to it. So we're trying to figure out ways to, I don't want to say necessarily like enforce, but just to have language around it that protects our neighborhoods. That's the main thing. And so, that was the hot topic the last couple of weeks. There was a couple of Airbnbs proposed in a neighborhood. Now, what I've learned is neighborhoods in District 1 and 2, they don't have what it's called covenants where they can't block short-term rentals. Now, districts such as 4 and 5, there's neighborhoods out there where you can't have a rental home in certain neighborhoods in District 4 and 5. So you don't have to worry about your neighborhood being overran by rental properties and short-term rentals. And
so wait, real quick. So you're saying in District 1 and 2, you can't even have situations where there's a development in an HOA that can rule out rentals, short-term rentals?
Exactly.
But that can only happen in Districts 4 and 5?
4 and 5, and I believe a few neighborhoods in District 3, because it's based off of how the HOA was drafted. There's not a lot of HOAs in District 1 and 2. And so when I talk to my colleagues, Miss Denise Jackson, Councilman Chuck Greb, those were their concerns. Their concerns were, we're not necessarily anti-short-term rental. We're not necessarily anti-Airbnb, but we don't have the same protections that you all have in your districts. And so I just want you all to understand that that's why we can't fully get on board with this. So I thought it was a healthy compromise. We discussed at the council Tuesday, giving some direction to our director of community development, Joe Doolin. Shout out to him. He just took that position, just got promoted to that position, if you will, to work on some language. And so some of the language that we're going to be looking into is, one, having a transfer clause in the short-term rental. So let's say, for instance, you have an Airbnb, Marcus. If you sell your Airbnb to me, your house doesn't automatically become an Airbnb for me. I still have to now go to the city, be vetted, and get my short-term rental license. Now, some people might say, hey, that's red tape. That's bad for business. But what it's doing is we want to make sure those who are owning these short-term rentals in our neighborhoods, we need to know who you are, making sure you're upkeeping these houses, because what we don't want to have happen is those who have been owning houses in our neighborhoods for years, their property values are going down because we got people who have the short-term rentals and they're in the wrong hands. Now, we've got some people, and we've actually got a lot of people that are doing great jobs with their short-term rentals in their Airbnbs, but we all know there's always some people who are outside of the rule, and we've got to have some protections there. So I'm pretty excited. I think that we need to get to a point where we have our language and our ducks in a row, because one, we need to be sensitive to our neighbors and manage their expectations. And then also, two, the investors who are buying properties thinking that they're getting ready to Airbnb them. And then we say, no, we're not approving these, or we're not approving this. Like, we need to really have some consistent language so we can start managing expectations around the board.
With regards to COVID, it seems like it's relaxed right now. I don't know if there's been any conversation on the city level about what the fall flu season may look like. Is there anything or any updates or any rumblings that's been had at the city level about the potential of different mandates?
We just follow the governor's order here in Peoria. Now, certain municipalities, Team No Judge, they act independently, which that's in their right. But the city of Peoria has taken the stance since the beginning of this to follow the governor's order, and so whatever mandates that are going to be in place from Springfield, more than likely will continue to be our offense moving forward.
Okay, and before we get to the lightning round, I want to quickly circle back to last week. There was a big town hall had at the district office with regards to this fights at Central. We know it's not a still issue. It's not even a Peoria issue. We see fights happen. It's actually been popping up in different cities, including Bloomington and Champaign. But I've always been interested in the ability for, even though you're not a school board member and say President Greg Wilson is not a city council member, is there any, I'm always interested in the potential collaboration between city and districts to figure out how to help the high schools. I know you had a background with mentoring students at Sterling. Is there anything that you see that is an area of opportunity to figure out how the city can come in and help figure things out not for the district, but help the district with students and with what's going on at the high school level?
I think there's always opportunity for collaboration, and I'm someone who always likes to collaborate. Shout out to Greg Wilson. He's my fraternity brother. We actually talked today, and we'll probably be giving you a call because we got an idea that we want to do for the community coming up here soon. So, after the situation occurred at Peoria High, it was good to be able to reach out to those who are on the school board and get their opinion on different things. There was something that I needed some guidance on, a situation that we had to vote on something on Tuesday. And I wanted to get Greg's opinion, because of the proximity of where it was to a school. So, being able to have those connections and be able to really make those inclusive decisions, I think is very important. I know Mayor Ali and Superintendent Dr. Karat, they have a good relationship as well, too. So I think that the opportunity for collaboration will always be there. Whether that is us, having some type of bi-monthly meeting, which I know that they used to before I got on the council, maybe that could be resurrected, whether that's in a virtual space or not. But I think it's very good. And then I think another point that I want to make is a lot of public entities got federal dollars. So District 150 Peoria Public Schools got federal dollars. The county board got federal dollars. We got federal dollars. You name it, they got federal dollars. And so I think it's very important that we are not duplicating what we're spending this money on. And so if I know that you're attacking this, me and you need to be in conversation. So that way we're not duplicating these funds, because again, these are one-time funds. It's soft money. So yeah, definitely. I'm always about collaboration. I've always had good relationships with the school board members, and will continue to keep supporting them. I actually just joined a committee on discipline that Mike Murphy, school board member, invited me to. So I'm excited to get on that, learn the ins and out, and see how we can address policy within the school district.
Toya says, I think she goes back to the Airbnb. Why does the city believe they can tell a property owner what to do with their own property? I could rent my house out to someone for a year, or I could Airbnb it as my property. So for individuals that own property and are concerned about the city's ability to say, no, you can't do that with your property, what does the city have to say about that?
Well, I think you have to have some mechanisms in place. You absolutely do, because at the end of the day, there are going to be some bad actors. I mean, that's just with any type of, within anything that's available, there's going to be some bad actors. And so we do have to have some protections in place. Now, I do think that we need to make sure that whatever protections in place are clear, articulated, and fair, because I do think that this person does have the right to rent out their home. And so we want to make sure that if that is what they want to do, they're able to generate revenue. That's great. We just want to have guidelines and protections, though, for our property owners, for that elderly woman that's lived in that house for 70 years. We want to make sure that she's protected, as well as you're able to conduct your business as well, too. So we got to have some things in place just to ensure that, we're keeping the quality of our neighborhoods, because Peoria is dominated by single family homes throughout the city. I mean, we have some apartment complexes, don't get me wrong, but our neighborhoods are dominated by single family homes. And so I think that's what makes us unique. I think that what makes us attractive from those who are looking to leave Chicago, St. Louis, the bigger metropolitan cities. They want to come to cities that are medium sized like us, but they can live in nice homey neighborhoods. And so we want to keep that image.
All right, we're gonna run over the lightning round real quick. With slight overtime, we got to squeeze it in. Familiar with the lightning round? I don't think you've done the lightning round before.
I have not.
You have not. Okay, so what we're gonna do is let me get our boom. Illinois American Water is the sponsor for the lightning round, and it's the favorite segment of the show. And of course, we got to run these questions through you as well too. So you got a minute 50. And these are either or, rapid fire question, rapid fire answers. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Boom. Is Justin Fields the answer for the Chicago Bears' future?
Yes.
Do the Bulls and the new starting roster make the playoffs?
Yes. Top 4 seed.
Favorite food place in Peoria?
Kenny's West Side Pub.
Bitcoin, is it the future or a trend?
Trend.
Cat Williams or Kevin Hart?
Cat Williams.
Okay.
And that was
Skip
hard.
Bayless. Man, no, it ain't. Skip Bayless is on record saying he takes Ben Simmons over Russell Westbrook. What do you say?
Ben Simmons over Russell Westbrook? No, Ben. I mean, Russ is everything. So no, but Skip tripping, bro. He tripping. No, I definitely would take Russell over Ben Simmons.
Favorite rapper?
Drake.
Favorite Peoria attraction?
Favorite Peoria attraction? The riverfront.
Jordans or Yeezys?
Jordans.
If you could bring any new business or industry to Peoria, what would it be, and why is it the Chicago Bears?
Any new industry to Peoria? I would like to bring a Top Golf to Peoria. I think that would be pretty cool. I think we have the appetite for it, so I would love to bring a Top Golf to Peoria.
First car you ever owned?
Ooh, a 93 Explorer that I got for $300 that lasted all of 2 weeks.
Interesting. You got 10 bands to spend in one store. Where you going?
Ooh, 10 bands, one store. I'll probably go to Finish Line. Just live.
If you weren't a councilman working in higher ed, what would you be doing?
Ooh, if I wasn't a councilman or in higher ed, wow. I think I would be pursuing a career in radio. I really would.
And I gotta ask this, man. Grits, man, they take salt or sugar?
Sugar.
My man. This has been all right. Hey, 4th District Councilman Andre Allen, man, appreciate you coming on RapPolitics for the first time. We'll definitely see you in the future.
Hey, I appreciate it. Keep doing your thing, bro. All up.
That was 4th District Councilman Andre Allen. Appreciate y'all tuning in. You can catch this interview even right after this, not only on Facebook Live, but also pjstar.com. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to the PJ Star so you can be in the know of what's going on in the P. And the latest story, the story of the week, the story of the day, whatever you want to call it, 16 of our favorite things about Peoria. And a couple of my favorite things on there. And of course, Grandview Drive is one of them. I think the bridge might be on there. I don't know, it's one of my favorite things. But regardless, pjstar.com, make sure you subscribe and you can get free access to the city's paper. And of course, we're brought to you by Sherman's, who is hiring. And they got furniture and they got mattresses, the most comfortable mattresses. I want one, low key. And they are hiring people that don't even have a college degree. Dre talked about having to have a post-secondary degree. Sherman's is not one of those spots. Sherman'sCareers.com. Make sure you log on there and you can apply and check out what they got open. And also brought to you by Terry Shepard, a real estate consultant whose values are rooted in customer care and service. She can help you negotiate your next deal and find you a crib that's going to fit. 361-4592 is that line. Appreciate y'all tuning in to RapPolitics. Next week is NBA week. If you've seen the lineup, you already know who we got coming in, man. So make sure y'all tune in for that. In the meantime, y'all stay safe. Matt.